Hey folks, Randy here with Dolan Cut and Trim. So, I'm ending is it the fourth or fifth year? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is my fifth year in business, fourth year full time. And, I started my business literally knowing practically nothing. I knew how to run a mower. But I was telling one guy the other day. I mean, my first year in business, I didn't know how to edge. I didn't even realize that was a thing. And so, really, been starting from nothing to get to where I'm at now, which is I do very well solo. And the thing about doing well solo, because this year I was doing about typically 70-75 lawns a week and was really happy with the money that I made doing that. And the interesting thing about it was I was still getting home early. I was typically home by 2 o'clock, sometimes 3. So I was getting a lot of work done in not much time, which made me realize doing 100 in a week or doing 100 and even 120 in a week, very doable as a solo guy. I work hard, I work fast, and customers like what I do. They like the systems I have in place. But I started thinking about I need to transition my business to be more forward focused. I'm not going to be a solo guy forever. My intention is for this business to be what provides for my family for the rest of my life. That is my intention. And while I know I could probably work in the field for another couple decades, honestly, I can't have that mindset. And so I'm trying to learn. I'm not trying. This is something I'm actually doing. I am learning to change my mindset about things. I guess a perfect example of that would be I've been running a belt drive walk behind mower for the last 5 years. I get a lot of work done with that. I'm extremely efficient with that. Honestly, I feel like in my opinion, I feel like I can probably do more work and get more, work done with that than the average guy could do with a stander or a zero turn or whatever. But that doesn't actually matter if I want to grow and I want to start employing people to do the work. And so in order for me to take that next step, I have to stop focusing on making myself as efficient as possible. I need to start focusing on being able to take the average guy and make him as efficient as possible. And that is a completely different process. Like for me, I can say you need to work harder, you need to go faster, you need to get into better shape, which is a topic that's going to come up in an upcoming video. You just need to be able to go faster, look for the bottlenecks and break them open, like all these things, and focus on that and become more efficient. But I can't expect a guy that works for me to be able to trim at basically a jog. That's not a reasonable expectation for the average human being. For most business owners, probably is, but for the average guy that's just working, that you're not going to do that for 15, 16 bucks an hour. Nobody's going to do that. Most folks probably won't even do that for 20. So while I'm going to focus, I obviously need to focus in the hiring process of getting the best people available. I also need to work on putting them in a situation with equipment that will allow them to get the work done as efficiently as possible. Because, I might not be able to get a guy to go faster, to walk faster, but I can get a machine that goes faster, you know. And so I'm trying to, and it's not an easy thing for me to do, but I'm trying to change that mindset. And I would love to get feedback from people on this, because, you know, I'm a solo guy, and I'm very good at being a solo guy. But I'm at a point where I need to start changing the way I do things. You know, I love being in the field. I intend to stay in the field. I love working. I love working with my hands. I love working hard. But I need to start moving towards the next logical progression in this business, which is to start investing in it in a way that I don't necessarily need to be the person holding the equipment, you know what I mean? I've grown every year that I've been in business. I think the worst year we had was 10% growth. I'm not counting the year I was part-time. The year I was part-time and we had like 400%. When I went from part-time to full-time, it was like 400% growth. I'm not talking about that year. But the years I've been full-time, the worst year we had was 10% growth. Actually, I could say, think about it, from year 1 to year 2 was 25% growth. From year 2 to year 3 was the 10% growth, and from year 3 to year 4, this being year 4, technically 5, but year 4, we've still got 2 months left in the year, a lot of work still to do, and right now we've experienced 20% growth. So we're growing at a steady clip, and I'm happy, and I think we'll continue that trajectory. I would like to see it go higher. I would love to see 30% growth in a year. But we've been growing slow as I learn the business, because I don't like to do things until I feel like I'm an expert in them. You know, that was at the beginning of my business. I was running around terrified because I didn't know what I was doing, you know, and I was learning as I went. And now we're 5 years in, and I'm having to adjust my mindset and basically learn how to be in business all over again, because I'm very good at being in business as a solo guy, but that needs to come to an end. I need to learn how to be in business as as an owner, as a CEO or something like that. My type of mindset, you know. And of course, I'm making it a little bit extra difficult on myself, because I'm not going into debt. This company is not going into debt. For the entire time that we exist, debt will not happen. So that means, you know, when it comes to employees, there needs to be enough cash reserve for those employees to be able to get paid without delay. You know, there needs to be enough cash in place that when something goes wrong, it can be easily fixed. And there needs to be a huge investment in equipment, which is, you know, what we're starting to work on now. I've been doing a lot of research, and you know, we're heading down that direction. But you know, there's going to be a change in mindset on this channel. I've been focused on building systems for a solo operator to be as successful as possible, and I'm going to continue to do that. And you'll still get that kind of content on this channel. You know, you'll still hear lots of stuff geared towards solo guys, because I'm a solo guy, you know. I mean, that's still what I am. But I am beginning that transition of changing from being a solo guy to being a guy that's running crews, which of course means, like, some of my viewing habits are changing. Like, you know, I'm getting back into, like, rewatching a lot of stuff from what's the guy's name? Rewatching a lot of stuff from Lawn Care Millionaire. Rewatching a lot of stuff from G. Packard. getting myself much more engaged in the content from guys who run bigger companies. You know, honestly, I've been treating It's His Turf, his lawn care videos. I've basically been treating them like a college course. I've been taking notes. But we're making that transition because, like I said, I've been building a business that I could run into my 50s, and now I'm changing it so that I'm now building a business that I can run into my 80s. Yeah, I guess is basically what I'm saying. And that requires a major mindset shift. You know, that requires getting back into reading books again, but from a different perspective, like reading the E-Myth again, reading the E-Myth Landscaper Edition again, reading some of these books about startups and things like that. Honestly, I probably need to read Dave Ramsey's book about starting business, EntreLeadership, because you know, he did it without debt, and that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. I don't really talk to a lot of people, so the majority of talking I do is staring at this camera. So I just wanted to kind of process that out loud and then share it with the masses. So this is Randy with Dolan Cut and Trim. I hope you enjoyed this. If you've got some feedback for me about, you know, working on this, I'd really appreciate it. And I know there's some guys, some bigger companies that watch my channel because of the Service Autopilot content. I would love to hear from you guys. And some of you guys that just run bigger companies, I'd love to hear that. Like, that's actually the one thing that's good I've already got in place, is I started with Service Autopilot early, so I don't need to switch a CRM. I'm already in a CRM that's built for a multi-million-dollar company, so that's good. Just everything else needs to get worked on. So, this is Randy with Dolan Cut and Trim. Have a good one.